Hello there, Meet the Vegas guy here, back with a live stream. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sure those of you who are going to watch live are be dropping in shortly, but if you're watching this in the future, not live, thanks for tuning in. We got a lot to cover today. Probably won't cover as much as I'd like to talk about. We're just going to have a conversation, touch base on where I have been. I haven't done a live stream in a few months. I haven't been posting as regularly on my channel, you may have noticed. So we'll talk about that. We'll cover a couple of things that have happened since my last live stream in Vegas and touch on some news, touch on some current news, some news that happened this morning. And I'll also circle back. We're going to talk about spooky season has arrived in Vegas and what you can do for the Halloween season. But let's just see if people are tuning in, making sure everything is on. Hopefully, I'm in 4K or at least 1080p. Um, it's telling me I'm in 1080p. Hopefully, you can hear me. Please let me know if anyone is, if you, I'm having any issues. I will try to address those early on, unlike the last time when I let them happen for the entire broadcast. And let's see here. I'm on. I can see me on my phone. That's important. That's the most important thing. And if you are watching live, feel free to say hi in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Let's chat, or not, or I'll just fly solo here. But let's talk about why I haven't been present for a while. I had some health issues. I'm having some health issues. I have a hernia. So I was literally on one of the days I was supposed to go live and have a video come out on a Sunday. I ended up stopping by the ER. And I have to have surgery coming up, but I'm okay in the meantime. It's not life-threatening immediate. I thought it was. I was scared and kind of put my life on hold. And so I kind of put some things on hold. Things have been different in my day-to-day life, not being able to go out to the strip as much as I want to, but I'm making do. So I'm kind of getting back on the saddle here and trying to get back into the YouTube thing. As you may have seen, if you are already a subscriber, if you've watched my channel in the last 24 hours, I launched a couple of shorts. I'm doing something just for the month of September called the Small Show Spotlight. I'm going to do a short every day showcasing a smaller show in Vegas, not the big, famous headlining shows. Not that all of the shows in Vegas don't need help right now with the downturn in tourism, but places like Cirque du Soleil and the big headliners don't need as much help, of course. So I want to help out these smaller shows and give you a little inside baseball as to why I'm doing this is I haven't made reviews for a lot of the smaller shows in town on my channel. I did early on, over a year and a half ago when I started this channel. I made a couple of reviews of some smaller shows that weren't as popular. They didn't get viewed. They're still some of the lower performing videos on my channel. I've dabbled once in a while. I do some of the smaller shows in town, and they just don't perform as well. And just unfortunately, because I'm a small channel, I'm still only a couple thousand subscribers. Thank you all for those of you who are subscribing. Um, I'm really not a big channel at all. And so I don't have an audience that's instantly going to watch anything I post, regardless of the content. Most of my views come from people searching for information about Las Vegas and shows they are interested in seeing. And of course, when I try to highlight shows that people haven't heard of, the shows that people haven't heard of are not the ones they're searching for on YouTube and on Google. So I'm not coming up in those search results. So I've hesitated for a long time for writing reviews, even though there are many shows, these smaller shows in town that I love dearly and want to help promote. So if I made a full-length review, it wouldn't really help promote that show so much because you don't have an audience. I don't have a built-in audience. But I've always been trying to figure out how to make use of shorts on YouTube because I have not had success with shorts and on Instagram and TikTok as well. My long form content doesn't directly translate to short form. So I'm trying this. This is an experiment, in trying to do short form content, different from what I usually do, the usual long form reviews I do on YouTube. And B, it's my quick answer to try and immediately try and help promote some smaller shows I've wanted to talk about on my channel, and really just don't have the bandwidth, as they say, the literal time and the hours to go out. You have to go to the strip. I have to go see the show, record footage. Editing takes hours. Every one of my 10 to 15-minute long videos takes hours, if not a couple of days in my spare time to make those. I'm going to do one a day. I'm going to do one of these shorts every day, only about a minute or two long, and hopefully kills two birds with one stone. Gets my short form content. It'll get me in the habit of making short form content one way or another. Whether or not it gets me a lot of views, I'll be better versed in producing this kind of short form content. So it's sort of a personal goal for me. But I'm hopefully we'll get the word out and hopefully we'll do some good and highlight some shows and maybe putting that content out into the world. I'll also be posting it, cross promoting it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, which I barely use Facebook. So subscribe to me there. I have one lone comment. Sound is good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Speaking of YouTube, speaking of Inside Baseball with YouTube, I have noticed um, not as that I'm getting different kinds of returns on my videos view-wise than I used to. And it seems to have been slowing down. And I've been hearing in the universe here that there are a lot of content creators are having the same issue. And YouTube changed their algorithm. And it makes sense. I've noticed it because I love YouTube myself. In my spare time, I have a list of things I subscribe to, and I sit down and watch other YouTube channels in my spare time. I have noticed that they have changed the way that they present them to you and update you, notify you of new videos. So a lot of smaller content creators, especially very small creators like myself, have noticed a drop in instant returns. Like as soon as you post the video, how many views you get. It takes days, if not weeks, for my video to start catching on and to start getting viewed. There is supposedly a fix, and if you're watching right now, I want you to help me out, whether you're watching this live or in the future. Unsubscribe from me. You can probably do it. Let me see. See if I can do it on my phone right now. Um, I can't tell on my phone. You should be able to hit the subscribe button right underneath me, or if not right now, do it after you watch the video. Hit that unsubscribe button and then resubscribe in 1 second. That's all you have to do. Hit that unsubscribe button and then hit the subscribe button again, and it will make me a new subscription for you. You might even, if you're using your mobile device, have the option to hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when I put new videos out. It would really help my channel because my new posts are getting buried, basically under all of your more recent subscriptions get put to the top of the list there. And of course, frequency of the content helps too. So I'm trying to work on that this month with my shorts. So that is my little quick plan right now to try and get back on track with YouTube. I would love it if you could help me out. But if you hit that unsubscribe button, just please don't forget to subscribe again, resubscribe. Just click, click, click real fast, and it will help boost my channel, hopefully. So, okay, enough about that. The headline, more to the point of my small show spotlight is that Vegas is starting to feel some pain from the tourism and the downturn in tourism. There's been a lot of articles going around. I posted a short myself. I realized my last post on it was either Instagram or I think it was TikTok, was me saying, Vegas is doing fine, you guys. Stop panicking. There were all of these people kind of posting for shock value of showing the streets empty and saying Vegas is dead, Vegas is empty. Vegas is not empty. It's not dead. People are saying that it's dying. Um, Unfortunately, it's not the first time in history this has happened. Anytime there's an economic downturn in the United States or even globally, Vegas gets hit. Vegas is always the first to get hurt by this. Some articles have been saying canary in the coal mine. Um, that is kind of the case. Historically, Vegas is also the first to bounce back when these things happen. Of course, COVID being the most recent example. Vegas, in spite of many things changing post-COVID, things that have never come back, like the phase and or chip the phase, that is, a lot of things COVID permanently changed, but Vegas did bounce back economically speaking from COVID. And we were one of the first. And when I've traveled to some other cities since then, I'm shocked by how things are not the same. Certain cities have hurt and have not recovered from the pandemic. Vegas pretty much recovered. And of course, Vegas experienced a record-breaking boom after the pandemic with the revenge travel. People were spending like crazy. And Vegas got used to that. Everyone's talking about the Vegas gouge these days, locally. So not local to Vegas. You're probably seeing articles saying how, if you want to pay attention to Vegas, you're seeing articles about Vegas being dead, Vegas, hurting from the economic, uh, the, I keep saying economic downturn. Downturn in tourism. The economy is not necessarily to blame. It's indirectly, but we have countries that are boycotting the United States. International tourism is down drastically, and that is what is hurting us the most right now. Um, Locally, here in Vegas, all of pundits, the creators online, they're not blaming tourism necessarily. They're blaming the quote unquote Vegas gouge. They are talking about how the casinos, for the last decade now, more than a decade, they have slowly been pulling amenities away and charging for parking. Parking was always free. There's still plenty of places it is free to park. And the valet, these resort fees that have become astronomical. Why am I forgetting? There have been some other amenities. Um, there are people who even go so far as to complain that drinks aren't free anymore, but the drink situation has not changed. There are always bars that make you play for your free comp drink versus ones that don't. You just have to know which one you're at. Those really haven't changed much, to say the least. But that's only in Vegas. Only in Vegas, people are blaming the casinos. They're blaming capitalism. They're blaming the casino owners for deterring people from coming here ever again by charging simply too much for everything these days. Um, and It's probably a mix of both, is what's going on. It doesn't help. But it's a great time to be coming to Vegas because the casinos are quickly uh, doing a 180 and getting rid of resort fees, getting rid of parking. Resorts World, if you stay tuned to my channel, I will have a hotel review. I stayed at Resorts World last weekend and I had free room in a suite, a giant suite, totally free. It was a free casino offer. Because again, I'm not an influencer. I don't have a following. I'm not being wooed by some of the companies like other content creators are. I just had a regular casino free room offer that was totally free, and I took them up on it. Um, and no parking. They don't charge for parking anymore. They say they're going to go back in a couple weeks, in September 10th or something. They're going to go back to charging for parking and charging resort fees. We'll see about that. I think it's a stupid idea, and we've seen some other hotels that are starting to follow this trend of offering free parking and going back on the gouge. So let's see. Speaking of about facing on the gouge, another thing. This is today's news, brand new news today. Dre's Beach Club over at the Cromwell Hotel is going to be closing when it closes for the season at the end of October. We do have a pool season. It does get too cold in the winter to go in the pool unless the pool is well heated. And you'll see a lot of Vegas hotel casinos close their pools for the winter. So when Dre's Beach Club closes for the season, it will not be reopening. That was the news today. That ties into what I was just saying because part of the Vegas gouge was this whole shift in how Vegas was doing business to cater to high-end clientele. They were switching from the value vacation, the bring your kids here, cheap breakfast, cheap food 24 hours a day, unlimited buffets, to these day clubs, all of these beach clubs and day clubs and nightclubs, the bottle service. People say that younger people aren't gambling. I go, they're blowing way more money on this bottle service. I've never done that. Anytime I'm losing in the casino at the slot machines, I say to myself, at least I don't have bottle service right now. Um, so this is a sign. The beach club, for whatever reason, is not working out. They're going to close that. Now, Graves has been in that building for decades. It was in the basement. Some of the reporting today was making it sound like Dre's After Hours, the underground, the basement club has been closed, I guess. I guess they're remodeling it. They're going to reopen it with a new look. But that club was there long before Caesars Entertainment owned the building, when it was still owned by Michael Gaughan, when it was the Barbary Coast. Dre's is a legendary after hours lounge. And they just also, when they expanded and built the rooftop pool club, they just took over the operation there as well. And Dre's does operate some other clubs in town too. They're an institution, the owner of that nightclub. And they're, I guess, literally the liquor license. They're able to like travel to other properties and operate them under their license, I guess. But they are going to be rebranding the Cromwell to the Lisa Vanderpump Hotel. So this also coincides with, but like I said, Dre's predates whatever the name on the outside of the hotel is. So it's sort of big news. It's sort of a big deal that they are relinquishing control of the beach club. I think that's an interesting sign of the times as well. Presumably it's going to just be under the ownership of Caesars, and it's going to be rebranded as a space for the new Vanderpump Hotel. They'll probably make an announcement. But that was an interesting turn of events this morning. Let's see, what do we got? Catching up on some stuff I've mentioned in prior videos. The Chippendales has finally opened up their new space at Planet Hollywood. Maybe I'll get my Chippendales review published one of these days. I had bad luck trying to review the Chippendales show, but they are in that space that used to be the Sin City Cabaret on the second level of Planet Hollywood. You have to go over there and see what it looks like. I'm very fascinated because that space was privately owned and operated for a long time. And when the pandemic happened and Caesars had their what I call the show apocalypse, they ousted all of their four-wall third-party retail space shows like that and kicked them out. And they walled it up like it was never there. So it's really fascinating that that space, they made it disappear for a while and now it's back as something new. So very curious to go in there and finally put my review of Chippendales up on the site. Another show that has moved to a brand new space, Marriage Can Be Murder, has moved to the Rio. This show is a dinner show. It's been out for a long time. It's an original local Vegas show. Maybe I'll be showcasing it on one of my shorts coming up soon. Um, they just opened up a new space at the Rio. Incidentally, it's like right next door to the space that used to house Tony and Tina's wedding. ages ago at the Rio. They had that show there. Another interactive dinner comedy show. This is a murder mystery show. It's an original show, and it's very funny. And supposedly they've rented out the space themselves. They cook all the food themselves. They've got their whole operation. They're not partnered with, at least I don't know for sure if they're not partnered with Rio, but unlike some other shows in town who've offered food where they're in a restaurant, and they have the restaurant's menu and they let that restaurant make money off of the dinner portion of the show. This is all self-contained. They're their own operation, and it's going to be really exciting to see them open up at Rio. They already have opened up at Rio. It's on the first floor of the Masquerade Village. And it's just going to be good to see new businesses going into the Masquerade Village too, because that area of the casino has felt like a ghost town for a long time. So good news on all fronts. Rio doing really great work with shows, welcoming in more entertainment as opposed to other hotels that are slowly getting rid of live entertainment. Rio is doubling down on it. That's awesome. And good for the Marriage Can Be Murder people to finally have found a home because they've had some bad luck lately. They were at the Orleans and got kicked out. You have to go over to the Orleans and see what's going on. Apparently, the whole wing of the Orleans, because TGI Fridays closed, which was across the hall from their space, and across the hall from their space as well was the old buffet that had been vacant for a year since the pandemic. So I don't know. I assume the bathrooms are still open. Maybe not. There are bathrooms in between them. I'll have to go over to the Orleans and see what's going on there. But good for them, Marriage Can Be Murder, to have found a better space. Let's see. No comments. No one else has been chatting. I see 4 people are watching. That's lovely. One of them is me on my phone, and one of them is my mother. So, to the 2 others who are real people who are watching, feel free to say hi. Um, oh, I have Jose. Hi, Jose. Thanks for tuning in. Um, all right, let's talk about the big thing that opened this past month that I haven't talked about on my channel yet. Universal Horror Unleashed at Area 15, the year-round horror attraction produced by Universal Parks here in Las Vegas, the first one of its kind. I haven't been. I probably won't be going until I can get some kind of locals discount. I mean, they're offering a locals discount, but it is still very expensive to go in there. We'll see if I make it over there. I'm not too into haunted house attractions. Maybe if I have some friends, I have several friends visiting in the month of October from out of town, and maybe one of them will want to go, and I'll use that as the excuse. I've heard mixed reviews, so let's talk. Let's just talk about. No one's watching this anyway, so let's talk. Let's get real about Halloween Horror Nights here, Universal Horror Unleashed. I've read some great reviews. I'm a big theme park nerd on the inside. I don't really create theme park content, but I watch a lot of other theme park news sites and YouTube channels. The Universal Parks News Today, produced by Walt Disney World News Today, Tom Corliss, and them, he came to review it. And I really liked his review. You can go find his channel. He gave a lot of honest thoughts, and I say I liked his review because some of the things he had to say locally about Vegas checked off as correct. Whereas some of these other content creators, they just showed up and said, "Oh, what a great place! I had so much fun. Thanks for the free tickets, Universal." That's what a lot of the reviews out there were like. He was pretty honest, and he liked it. He gave a positive review, but he admitted that it looks like they didn't spend a lot of money on it. That the 4 haunted houses that are in there were absolutely picked up from pre-existing Halloween Horror Nights in either Orlando or in Universal Hollywood, and they just put them on a truck and assembled them here in Vegas with some set dressing. They built this building, but in his words, he said that it was built with Universal is prepared for it to fail. That in the event that it doesn't go well, it's not going to cost them much to break it all down and move out of there. Now, something I've heard locally, I've had a lot. I've worked in the entertainment business my whole life. I have friends in the entertainment business. I've heard a lot of rumors about the opening process of this place, and I know a lot of people. Some people who were seasoned, not just actors and performers, but people who were scare performers, people who worked for many years at the Fright Dome, at the uh, Circus Circus. Was it Fright Dome or Fear Dome? Now they've changed. I'll circle back to that later. That's a new thing. Um, I've heard people who were in the running. They applied for scare actor jobs, actor positions, and they said that they were turned down for certain positions simply because of their measurements and their body type and whether or not they fit into the costumes. Because according to them, Universal had costumes already from when they used them at Halloween Horror Nights, and you had to fit into their existing costumes. They weren't creating new costumes for the new attraction in Las Vegas. Which, if you work in theater, that's ridiculous. You have a costume department and you make adjustments and you build costumes for the person. You hire the actor and then you build a costume around that actor. So the fact that Universal's not doing that they basically were choosing who to hire based on whether or not they fit into the costumes, says a lot about how much money they were willing to spend on this, and it begs the question, how much confidence do they have in this project? They have announced they're going to open another one in Chicago next year, I think, or maybe the year after. They've announced the Horror Unleashed in Chicago. So they like the concept. It was before they opened this place. They made that announcement. So kind of interesting. I don't know what to make of that. I've heard otherwise good reviews that it's a good experience. That I've heard the food is very good. They have like two restaurants in that space. In fact, after watching all the reviews that I watched online, I want to go eat there. Still have to buy a ticket to get in, and then pay for your food. And then they want you to have this whole experience that they charge. I believe it's $69.99 is the base level ticket, um, and or maybe that's the local price. I think it's 59 for locals, 69 for the base ticket, and then they have these VIP tickets. So very interesting. I hope it does well. This is a weird time. We're having this weird downturn in tourism, and it's going to be interesting. And I'm sure maybe if this doesn't work out for Universal, they'll have the tourism factor to fall back on and say it wasn't the product, it was the economy and the state of Las Vegas. Um, yeah, I think they're just prepared to fail. I don't think it's supposedly well done. What I've seen, it looks very good, but they just didn't invest new money. They didn't make it bigger and better than your average Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. They just took the same exact experience and put it in a giant warehouse. Let's move on. Let's move on to from there. Spooky season in Vegas. Good segue, right? Almost as if I planned it that way. Um, I briefly mentioned the gosh, Adventure Dome at Circus Circus. For years, they had uh, like Halloween Horror Nights of their own. Now I'm getting totally confused. It's Fright Dome. It was originally called the Fright Dome, and now it went away for many years. It's been away at least since the pandemic. It hasn't come back, I don't think. Someone please interact and correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments if I'm speaking correctly about this. Um, I never went. I didn't grow up in Vegas, so it wasn't one of my traditions to go to the Adventure Dome for Halloween. But anyway, they're bringing something back. They're bringing a haunted attraction back, if my notes are correct. It is the Fear Dome coming back to or a brand new haunt experience coming to the Adventure Dome at Circus Circus. And then I've also seen it advertised as Fear Zone. So I don't know if maybe they got in trouble for sounding a lot like the Fear Fright Dome with the Fear Dome, and now they're calling it the Fear Zone. I don't know. Again, I'm not an industry insider into the horror world, so I'm just reporting what I see. But that will be a welcome thing for locals, especially, the Adventure Dome is a pretty affordable thing for locals and tourists. It's an amusement park. It's actually free to go in. They just charge you like per ride, which is how amusement parks used to work. You had ride tickets, and that's basically how they do it there. I'm sure there's going to be an entry fee for the Halloween attraction, but excited to hear that. There are a few other Halloween attractions coming up. I had a video last fall. Another one of my videos that was an experimental thing that I tried last year, and it didn't get a lot of views, but I did a video about spooky season in Vegas and things that you can go and do. My top picks for spooky season. I'm gonna just say it here instead, and hope it gets viewed. Um, so aside from haunted house attractions. One of my favorites, and they've expanded it this year, the Nevada Preservation Foundation. They do cemetery tours at West. Boy, things I don't write down. Let me just make sure that I say it correctly. Woodlawn Cemetery in the north part of town. Um, it's called Tombstone Tales, and it's like a historic tour. It's a tour of the cemetery, and they point out a lot of like the historic graves and things like that. But they are offering a second tour this year. Let me just bring it up instead of trying to go off of my chicken scratch notes and read. Yes, they have regular Tombstone Tales, and then they have a second walking tour called Tombstone Tales: The Darker Side of Woodlawn, which are, according to this, discover the more colorful and mysterious stories of the residents in Woodlawn Cemetery. Organized crime, murder, and unsavory actions committed by some of those buried here will be revealed. So if you're looking for something a little more spooky than just a historical grave tour, they've got you covered. This is all throughout the month of October. Not yet, not in September, but in October, I'm definitely going to try and go to one of those. I love the Nevada Preservation Foundation. They do a lot of, they don't do it year round. I wish they would do more tours all year round. They kind of have these little seasonal things because they're very volunteer operated there. And all the money you spend just goes to support their organization. So it's a good cause, and but a lot of really smart people, knowledgeable people give these great tours. If you're nerdy and like history information. And of course, I promoted this last year, but every year at Springs Preserve is the Dia de Muertos celebration. I'm saying it now because tickets always sell out. There's probably some tickets are already sold out for some of the days if you haven't booked yet. It's a really great community event. It's an entire weekend. You have multiple days to go. Oh, maybe it might be multiple weekends. I keep tipping my hand as to how little research I did for some of these talking points today. But check that out. Check out my old video. A lot of that same information is accurate, except for the dates being 2025 and 2024. And I have links in that video for all these things. So if you want to find out the Preservation Foundation and other things, so Springs Preserve, check that out. Spooky season. Covered that. Do 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 do. Scooby doo 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 doo. And the other big thing that just opened, Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, the big controversial AI reimagined horror version of the MGM hit film Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. Um, I haven't seen that one either. And even worse than it's more expensive than Horror Unleashed. I will be going to the Universal attraction sooner than I will be going to see Wizard of Oz because of the price alone. Um, they it's the cheapest ticket is $104 to go see The Wizard of Oz. It is supposedly now, from what I've heard, way more involved than even I thought at first. There's like 4D elements when they have the Twister scene. They blow like dust and garbage. It's fog. It's fog and wind machines, but it looks like actual like bits of like paper or something they blow out into the thing. I don't know what it is. Made my allergies act up just looking at it. And then when the apple tree, they throw the apples, actual like toy apples fall onto the audience and they're souvenirs that you can keep. And I guess there are actual drone flying monkeys that fly through the theater as well. So, at least from my point of view, it looks like the money is going somewhere. When you when you go there, it feels like it's an expensive thing that you spent that money for. They also have this live show in the lobby. From what I understand, is after the movie. Like when you leave the movie out in the lobby, there is this live show. I thought it was originally. I saw clips of it. I thought it was before the show. So there's an after show with live actors with some of the effects that they have in their atrium area. They have one of those 3D windmill video screen things, and they have the real live interactive Wizard of Oz wizard head floating thing, talking to the guests and stuff. So it looks really cool. I can't say it doesn't look cool. Looks really cool. Looks expensive. Um, but there's all this controversy over how much they changed from the original film, the use of AI, and supposedly they edited out some of the original actors' faces and put in the face of the CEO of the Sphere uh, in there somewhere as like an Easter egg. So really, just if you care about art and the people who created that original movie. It's some real questionable stuff. I don't know if I support it, and therefore I'm not jumping out of my seat to go and spend $104 for the cheapest, worst seat to the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it's going to be successful. That's just the one thing. It doesn't matter everyone thought the Sphere was not going to succeed at all when it first opened. For about 3 or 4, like 5 years, it took them to build that Sphere. Everyone in town was saying it's going to fail. No way they're going to sell 17,000 seats all the time to fill that and make money back. And there were even questions about whether or not they had the money to build it. There were questions that they didn't have the funding to build the screen on the outside anymore, that they had cut that from the plans. And Madison Square Garden removed their name from it, and they created a shell company in order to finish building it. And lo and behold, it's making tons of money, last I heard. So this will probably succeed and do very well, and probably still play there for a long time. So hopefully, one of these days, they will get a clue and lower prices for locals. Uh, the rest of this year will tell if the tourism continues to decline. It has been steadily declining month to month here. Let's see. Do I plan on going even if it's months from now? I don't plan on it. Um, would I go if the price was better? Sure. I imagine someday I'll see it. I don't have plans. If it's months from now, I imagine that if it succeeds and it's still here a year from now, at some point, I will probably be in a situation where I end up saying, oh, heck, I'll go spend the money and do it. But Not in a hurry, to say the least. So, boy, that was all I really had planned to talk about, other than answering questions from viewers. But yet again, this might be one of the lowest attended live streams I've done in a while. And I put the event earlier. I put it last night up on YouTube, thinking that it would get some views. Again, that goes to show about the formula and people getting updates and notifications about my videos. So if you didn't see the update, the notification that I posted a scheduled live stream, that would explain why so few people have turned out to watch it. So please, I'll put it up here again. Hit the unsubscribe button. Should be somewhere right here. If not, especially if you're watching in the future, it's definitely, I don't know about the live stream screen. I couldn't find it as well, but just hit unsubscribe and then click it again, click subscribe again, and resubscribe, and hit the notification button so you get notified when I put new videos out. And hopefully that will solve the problems I've been seeing on YouTube more recently. So, unless anyone chimes in with more questions, talking points, I think I covered everything. I'm not going to be doing monthly concert updates anymore. Um, they didn't seem to be too popular, and I can never cover all of them anyway. So people were always telling me I forgot something, and even I was like, "Oh, I would have included that if I had realized it." And it's it. I know it was a good idea, especially because it is hard to find those concert dates, and if you have someone telling you all about them, it's a good uh, it's helpful. But if I'm not covering them accurately, and I can't promise you that I'm showing you all the information, I don't want to be misleading you and anyone blaming me that I didn't um, tell them about something that was coming up. Any new buffet reviews? Oh, thank you, Phil. Uh, not anytime soon. I'm almost done. I am almost. I only have like four left that in town that I haven't reviewed. I haven't reviewed Wicked Spoon. Haven't reviewed the Bellagio buffet and the Rampart buffet. And that might be it. Yeah. Oh, and I haven't gone back. I keep saying I'm gonna take a day off of. I have to do it because I work those days to go to the Palms Lobster buffet. That was the fourth one. So four in my mind that I want to do. Hopefully by the end of the year. But I have no immediate plans. As I mentioned, I currently am dealing with a hernia, and I don't want to. I'd like to enjoy the lobster buffet without worrying about my gut health, without getting too um, into the weeds. Then another question or comment. I still think that they can utilize the sphere more. I think they have very limited options, and it isn't even at its full potential. Yeah, I mean, it does seem interesting that there are no there's been a lull in announcements of big name acts coming in there. Backstreet Boys extended their run, which was kind of big news. So it proves that there was either they had already booked the extension, but they certainly aren't enticing other artists to come in there and take up that space. I think it's December, which is a prime time for concerts in Vegas. So, yeah, we would have expected more announcements about artists. Of course, they develop these shows. They spend millions of dollars to put these images on the screen. So supposedly it's a long process, and they just keep it a secret who they're working with. There's the rumor that Taylor Swift is going to sign with the Sphere. That came and went recently. Was that before? I think that was before her engagement. That's what it was. Just before her engagement announcement this past, it was not even a week ago. People were dropping hints, thinking that she had dropped hints with her new album release. That because it seemed it's about showgirl, life of the showgirl. So they were there are a lot of Vegas references in the things she's been talking about. So people are saying Taylor Swift might be at the Sphere. That would be huge. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand. You know, the bigger problem are these ticket scalpers, these third-party ticket brokers, StubHub and Vivid Seats and Game Time and all these apps. They are the problem. They buy up these tickets, they put them on sale at a markup, and that's why we have a world where Wizard of Oz costs $104. The cheapest ticket to Backstreet Boys at the Sphere was $400. Um, and sometimes you get them at a deal. Sometimes those third-party brokers they don't sell. I think one sign of the economy going in the wrong direction will be when these concert tickets finally reach their ceiling, and these third-party brokers scalp. We got to call them scalpers. That's what they are. And we need scalpers to be a bad word again. We need scalping to be a crime again. Used to be illegal. And there were some viral videos and stuff. And I thought about sharing it too. There was a viral video I saw on TikTok last night when I was posting my videos of someone saying they got counterfeit tickets on StubHub for Bruno Mars. It could still happen because anyone can post on there. Even though a lot of these scalpers have become legitimate businesses, they're not even like normal mom and pop people just selling their show tickets. That was the original idea. That I have tickets, I can't use them, I can't return them to Ticketmaster. I should be able to uh, make use of them and sell them because I can't use them. I think Ticketmaster could solve this problem really quick if they just allowed returns and exchanges. They're sort of doing that by having their own secondary market, but really, they should, if Ticketmaster just had an option for you to return it and get a refund, as long as the show hasn't happened yet, and Ticketmaster can put those tickets back on sale, that would kill the excuse for needing a third secondary market and these resale exchange places. You could get rid of them, you could outlaw them, and Ticketmaster would just have to offer returns and exchanges, and that would solve the problem. There's a lot of ways it would solve. We could solve that problem. We could talk about that forever. But I think at some point, back to the Sphere, back to talking about that, is um, these prices are too high, and if people can't afford hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to go see the Backstreet Boys anymore, and they're not playing to capacity, something's got to give, and then hopefully the Sphere will come down in prices. If I'm thinking on any thought, back to the downturn in tourism, this is a great time to be looking for deals and discounts in Vegas. There are, like I said, resort fees are going away now. A lot of hotels are offering packages with no resort fee, free parking. A lot of, I think if you join the slot clubs, you're going to see a lot more dining off offers of free, you know, you literally get a dining club. I get some offers in the mail, just $25, $50 to spend at any of the restaurants in a certain hotel. I think we're going to see more of that. So if you are coming to Vegas, if you are a neighbor of Vegas, California, Arizona, and New Mexico, Utah was the state I was trying. I need more caffeine today. I don't know what it is. Utah borders us. So does Idaho. I found out that the uh, favorite thing people do in Idaho to pass time is drive 10 hours to Las Vegas. So if you live in any of our neighboring states and you're going to drive in for the weekend, join the slot clubs and you'll get the offers. They'll make it worth your while to make the trip. So it's always great for the customer, for the consumer, when the casinos take a hit economically. So hopefully we can reap the benefits, but and in turn keep things going and keep Vegas alive. So stay tuned to my channel for my daily small show spotlights all this month. I'm going to try and showcase some of the smaller shows in town. Um, it's gonna be most of the smaller shows in town. I was making a list of them all, and um, around 27, I was running out of small shows. So comment if you see those, which shows you'd like to see me showcase this month, because it's not that extensive of a list. Unfortunately, it used to be a bigger list. Anyway, thank you all. for commenting. Thanks for both of you for tuning in today. And thank you to those of you watching in the future. And I appreciate all of you. And I will hopefully make a better habit of doing live streams and getting my reviews out. Stay tuned for more of my hotel reviews. I will hopefully be posting on Fridays now. I used to do it on Sundays and Mondays. Wasn't consistent, and I think Friday is going to be a better day for me. So stay tuned next Friday for hopefully, I don't want to make promises, my review of my stay at Resorts World. Until then, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'm Mike the Vegas Guy.